here's the frugal thing. Instead of taking this and washing the whole thing, I'm just going to reuse it, and it doesn't matter because the basic ingredients that are still in there are also going to be in the cookies. So let's get rid of this recipe and let's do the same for the cookies. So this says 1.5 cups for a single batch, and I'm going to stick to a single batch of cookies. So, and I need 7 tablespoons of butter. That's like a whole thing of butter. Well, maybe not the whole thing. But being frugal, I didn't buy it. This came from a food bank. So, it's not my first choice, but it's vegan, dairy-free, and supposed to be healthy. So, we need lots of butter, we need sugar, and applesauce. So I also like to use applesauce in place of sugar. So, okay, we have our sugar here. We need 1/4 cup of sugar. And instead of dirtying up separate cups, I just kind of eyeball it in the 1 cup. I'm going to do 1/4 cup of sugar. And I'm going to do less than 1/4 cup because I'm going to use some applesauce. So this is about 1/8 of a cup to keep the sugar reduced. Okay. Let's get the flour in there. I got all excited about the sugar, I guess. So I'm going to do 1 cup of the oat flour. And then the 1/2 cup of the rice flour. I'll take the butter out of the way. So that's about 1/2 cup. Maybe a little more. That's about 1/2 cup. So it's supposed to be 1/4 cup of sugar and 1/4 cup of brown sugar, but I'm going to do applesauce. Instead, then I reduce the liquid. So I have the applesauce. Just gonna kind of eyeball in case I need more flour. I don't want to put liquid in there. I'm gonna put about 1/2 cup of the applesauce. All right. Okay. So, some vanilla. About a teaspoon of vanilla. And I have to pause this because I forgot. I want to put chocolate in here. I don't have any chocolate chips, but I have something else. I have these dark chocolate truffles. They have a little bit of orange in them, and I've been sort of eating them like one as a treat, but I could put them in here to be chopped up as the chocolate. So we're gonna put a couple of these, about 4, I think would do it. And those will chop up in the processing. Okay, so I put the butter and egg replacer in there already, so we're gonna see what consistency we have. Okay, let's check it and see what it looks like. It's kind of like a cake, let's see. Here, let's see what it tastes like. It's good. Oh, I'm forgetting the baking powder. Have to add more baking powder. I'm going to go ahead and just put this chunk in there. And some more xanthan gum. Same thing, just a pinch of that. Hold the cookies together. Okay. And I put a kitchen towel here so that when I'm all done, I just can roll it up. Maybe wipe off some of the extra goo and then roll it up and it goes right in the laundry. Less cleanup. See what we have. Maybe a little more flour, I'm thinking. Just a little bit. It's a little too cake-like. Just gonna add a little extra flour. Yes, being a gluten-free vegan is really challenging, but it really gets you to like spend time learning and figuring out. I think that's going to be good. Nice round cookie dough. And it's going to form up a little bit more when the flax and aquafaba kind of blend. So what I do now is I'm going to put this whole food processor, I'm going to give it one more, kind of scoop all this extra out and let it mix one more time. Make sure it's well mixed, and then I'll put it in the refrigerator. And then the next frugal thing is, it's a nice day, sort of, here. I'm not going to bake them right now. I'm going to wait till tonight when it gets cold in the house. and the oven can act as a heat source. Instead of turning on my heater, I'm going to bake. I'm going to cook and I'm going to bake. That's going to warm up the house for the night. And no electricity. Well, electricity from baking, but I'm getting, as they say, killing two birds with one stone. That's an old saying. Get the stuff off the top. Now I'm going to get the sides down. Make sure all of that gets incorporated. Okay, now we just take this whole thing off. And put it in the fridge. Those are gonna be good. The good thing about that is it's not real egg in here, so ooh, those are gonna be good. Has that hint of chocolate chunks and a little bit of citrus and lightly sweetened. That'll be good. So I have to put some extra things away there, and I have just this mess. That's a bowl from something earlier. So this is all I have to clean up until later. And then I have pancake mix for a few days and cookie mix for tonight to bake and warm up the house. And then I have to wash that when I'm done. So it reduces the cleanup, the energy I have to spend, because I don't, you know, with this chronic stuff going on, having to wash and rewash things, that's a lot. So I figured out a way to shortcut that and save myself some back-breaking work for me. Washing dishes, standing and washing dishes is one of the things that really flares up my back, so I always try to find ways to challenge myself to do things differently for myself. So we'll be baking those cookies tonight. Okay, so hanging out in a day in the life of Pawsom Fun and Frugal mobile home living and everything else I do. That sound is Sanji trying to play with Cersei. I'll show you. What's going on? Oh, you gonna go lay down? Go. You being a good girl? Yeah. Okay, go lay down and warm up. It's cold. Sanji ran away as soon as I pointed the camera at them. He ran off. You can check him out. He's in a lot of my shorts, Sanji, because he's quite the character. So let's get the laundry done. I was going to take this out, but silly me, I need the top of these to fold the laundry in the dryer. Yeah. So just hanging out with me, seeing the things that a poor, frugal, mobile home living person with. So thank you for hanging out if you're watching this video. It's just kind of a catch-up Saturday. I'm still catching up from my van life trip, so you can go back and check out my latest van life videos where I went to Santa Cruz and had a great time visiting friends and family. And now we are home and catching up on chores on a Saturday. And one of the things I want to do, we'll be doing later, is reorganizing my clothes and winterizing my closet, getting all the winter stuff up front and handy, and putting the summer stuff towards the back where I don't need it, and under the bed. I have a lot of clothes, which is nice. Collected a lot of clothes over the years. I'm frugal. I don't throw things away. If they get really worn out, I turn them into rags for cleaning and other projects. So let's get this laundry done. Some of these clothes that I'm washing came from the van. So at some point I have to restock the clothing in the van. I like to keep the van, my van life van, sort of semi-ready to go, where all I have to do is throw in all the fresh food and stuff and go. Because sometimes there's opportunities that come up where I get invited to visit somewhere and I don't have to do that much work. Just put the food in there, some ice, and get on the road. It's the way I like it. And if there's ever an emergency where I have to evacuate or do something like that, the van's almost ready to go. I think what I'll do is try and think what's an efficient way to collect the stuff that I know I want to put back in the van. I'm going to put them in this basket for now. So 2, 3, 4. There's 4 pairs of underwear, my summer pants that I often wear. There's my pajama shirt, my tank top that goes back in there. My pot holder goes back in the van. So there, I can get things right in how I need them. And then the other laundry gets put away in the house. And then my sheets for the spare room, because I had some folks come and stay in my spare room while I was gone. So I'll clean that up and get it ready for next time. And then, yes, I'm very disappointed I'm using my dryer. So as frugal as I try to be, all spring and summer long, I'm able to hang up my clothes. I live in a mobile home park that does not allow us to have clotheslines outside. So I have to get creative about how, those things are going in the van too, how to do it. So I have 2 ways to do it. Hang it in my bathroom, and I think I have a video, a few videos back, I showed how I set up my shower with extra shower poles to hang laundry on, so you can hang dry your clothes inside the house when you're not taking a shower, which you can always move the clothes out if you need to use the shower and put them back. They're all on hangers, and I have a drying rack that stands in the bathtub also. And yeah, so that, oh, and so two ways. The other way is my shed in the spring and summer gets really warm, and I have to run fans. It gets so hot in the summer in there, it gets over 100 degrees. So I can hang up a lot of the blankets and sheets and stuff. I hang up in the shed, and it dries within an hour, probably less. That's, I go out and check and it's dry. So it dries very fast out there, but it's a lot to take all my laundry to the shed and back with my chronic stuff. So doing most of the clothes and smaller items in the bathroom is very helpful. Sometimes when I'm not feeling up to taking the blankets out, I'll hang them on the door. That works too. So sometimes I have laundry hanging everywhere. But it's frugal and it's saving me a lot of money, so I don't care what people think. Nobody else is here except me. If there were more people here, I would be more considerate of that, but it's just me and the dogs. So I make the best use of my house that I can to be frugal. Okay, so I put all that laundry away, and you can hear my old dryer. I hung up a comforter trying to air dry it, but it just not completely dry. And what happens is, I'll move so we don't have to hear that. I have to go take my break anyway. I can't be up doing things like that for too long at one time. So I live in Oregon, and if you know anything about Oregon, when it decides to get cold and damp, it gets cold and damp. I think humidity was 67% or something like that. Which isn't too bad, but anyway, so it gets so cold and damp, and right now it's cold, damp, and rainy. And in that weather, nothing dries. I mean, I'd have to run the heater, so I might as well put it in the dryer. So I try to be frugal and not use my central heating, because I feel like a lot of that just gets wasted out, windows and doors, whatever, door frames. So what I try to do is spot heat. Like where I'm sitting here, I have 2 heating pads. I don't have them on now, I don't need them. But when it gets really cold and my body starts to ache, which it does, I turn those on, and that's all the heat that I need. I put a blanket. I have this blanket. I cover up with a blanket. I wear warm layers and sit on heating pads. I also have one down for the dogs or someone else that might come and sit here. So there's, for guests or dogs, I've got warmth for them. And then I don't have to run the central heating, so I can turn it on and off as needed and not worry about wasting money on the heating bill. We all know how much more expensive that's all getting right now. So that's what I do. I have to use the dryer in the winter. From this point on until at least February, March, I'll probably be using the dryer. It's a lot of work for me to hang up clothes and then not have them dry. And you know, when it's damp and cold and things don't dry, they start to get musty smelling. So nobody wants that. So I have to make that sacrifice and use the dryer. I wish I could hang things outside, because then the wind and air would help things dry, but we're not allowed to do that here. So that's one of the ways that I can't be as frugal as I would like to be. But I try to do what I can and find workarounds for it. I make sure I have completely full loads of wash before I do wash, and also full dryer. Sometimes my dryer's big, so a lot of times what I can do, if it's not real heavy stuff, is I can put 2 wash loads into one dryer in one dry cycle, and just run a full dry cycle rather than 2 separate. So that helps. I figured out my dryer holds about twice as much as my washer does. So, but with blankets and rugs, heavier things, I don't do that. I dry them in one cycle. So that's a little bit of my frugal Saturday. And when I recover and rest for my, because I'm tired and things start to ache, so I'm resting, and when I get back up, we'll go work on the next place that I want to work on today.